Everything happening between these walls felt so wrong. But the clock kept ticking. Mia Skulkevich, a young woman in her 20s with an elegant and classical quality only found in modern paintings, would sit on her couch and sink in it. She would stare at the dingy wall of her rundown apartment, her eyes wide and fixated. She rented apartment 201, a hideous little homestead, with her boyfriend, Lou Mulroney, as a cheap way to start their lives after graduating high school. But the apartment seemed to be nothing more than a dead end. Mia couldn't sleep. Every time she attempted to close her eyes, she would see a pasty white bathtub covered in dark blood, a periwinkle blue eye staring into the hall, and the feeling of confusion somehow picturized. It all tormented Mia's mind, but she didn't know where the disturbing images came from. The apartment had grown frigid. Not a fun or snowy type of cold that gets you out of school for the day, but the type of uncomfortable cold that could be felt when first stepping out of the shower, naked and afraid, giving you the feeling that you're being watched, but cannot find the watcher. 70 degrees Fahrenheit. She would always stand and lock gazes with the old and dirty thermostat, thinking to turn it up. However, she was too broke for that. After he proposed, Lou Mulroney disappeared one day. He was, not literally, sucked into the air of apartment 201, gone without a trace. Skulkevich would sit and pontificate whether or not it was their last argument that pushed him over the edge, if he had died and she didn't know, or if he was having relations with someone else. Mia and Lou were high school sweethearts, not the jock and the cheerleader breed, but of the starving artist species. Mia was a painter in her golden age. When she was in her girl years, she would draw everything. Mia Skulkevich wouldn't be caught without a sketchbook, even over her dead body. Lou was a guitar player. Their fondest memories took place at record shops closer to Midtown, at live shows, or in their Jeep listening to Free Ride for the 1000th time. They both shared such a love for the arts and themselves. But despite all the grief she felt for Lou's absence, Lou wasn't Mia's biggest concern. Mia Skulkevich had a new roommate. No, this was not coordinated. No, they weren't paying any rent. And no, they did not pick up after themselves. This roommate was an uninvited tenant. It started with the refrigerator. Mia began noticing her food going missing. At first she thought she had a rat, a smart rat albeit, but then the rat moved on to her cigarettes, then her shower, then her own personal things, and finally through Sullivan, a fluffy tortoiseshell cat. Sullivan would sit in front of the bathroom door and gaze at the shower curtain. Oftentimes, he would walk into the bathroom and purr, as if someone was scratching him so lightly. Mia would grab a butcher knife as quiet as she could from the nearby kitchen and slowly walk to the shower curtain. Pulling it back, expecting herself to have to confront someone, but a whisk of cold energy would rush past her as if there was no one at all. Although there was seemingly no one in the shower, the strange happenings in apartment 201 didn't seem to cease. Mia had begun to lose track of the days. It all became one long blur. The sun seemed to die, time didn't go on, and the apartment just continued to grow colder. She hadn't made contact with anyone in so long. She called everyone, yet no one seemed to answer. A delivered stamp sat beneath all of her text messages, with not a single gray bubble beneath them. And Sullivan, her beloved cat, seemed to wisp away into the wind, similar to her missing lover. She would stare at the ceiling while lying in her bed every night. Mia couldn't cry at this point. All Mia could do was dwell. Sometimes her dwelling would be paused by knocks on her walls and a feminine voice telling her,
"Hello."
This occurrence happened at some point every so often that Mia wasn't even afraid anymore. She tried to talk to the person, but the person would never reply. Sometimes, as Mia would close her eyes, she wouldn't see the disturbing images that normally plagued her. She would feel a gust of wind, an energy. Not quite a malevolent energy, albeit there was something rather insidious about apartment 201 to her. But not quite an energy of light. An energy slightly off kilter. An energy with an agenda. The energy first came to Mia when life was normal. When Lou and Sullivan were still about, and Sullivan wasn't staring at things in the shower. Mia would be in the shower and feel as though someone else was in the bathroom. She'd hear heavy footsteps on the bathroom floor, hear the doorknob twist without a hand twisting it, and once only, she felt a hand press against the shower curtain and touch her. I think I want to die. Mia was pontificating something new. She would take Lou's gun and shoot it into the back of her mouth. She prepared herself for the moment too. She smoked her last pack and downed a bottle of whiskey. She wanted one last buzz before going to the next phase of her existence. The moment played like a movie scene in her head, and with all of her wits, she tried it. But her roommate didn't like that. This time, it didn't knock, and the voice wasn't a hello. It had something new to say.
"Mia, come here."
Drunkenly and smelling of a campfire, Mia followed it to her bedroom. The person in apartment 201 was painting a gorgeous lake sunset on one of Mia's many canvases. She was a younger woman, shorter and scrawnier with dark hair, round glasses, and wore a plethora of rings.
"Mia, dearie, you don't need to do that,"
the woman told her as she wiped a tear from Mia's eyes. "I've lost everything," Mia responded.
"I lost everything here too. I had a family. My boyfriend left. My daughter was so ill. I lost her at the age of 5. And I lost myself."
She rubbed Mia's arm, trying to comfort her.
"It's almost like the second I came here, I was damned to hell."
"Who are you?"
"My name is Gemma, the previous renter. I am so glad you joined me. I was getting so unbearably lonely.
She continued.
I knew we would get along when I saw your artwork."
Mia looked perplexed. "Joined you?"
"You slipped, Mia. Cracked your skull in this very shower, in this very apartment. Lou left and took Sullivan. I haven't been able to show myself to you yet because you weren't ready. But now, I'm so glad I have you."
Mia slowly walked back, keeping her blue eyes locked with Gemma's hazel circles, but she turned and ran. "Someone fucking help me," she screamed.
Mia. I was worried this would happen. It's normal to be afraid when you cross from this life to the next. It's okay, Mia.
But Mia had different ideas. She held her phone in her right hand and Lou's Glock in her left. Mia had the gun point blank on Gemma's head.
Huh, Lou's gun. I was always so shocked when he left it behind. Wouldn't want it to get in the wrong hands, you know?
Gemma asked. "You think this is funny? Squatting in someone's fucking apartment?" Mia pulled the trigger. The gun didn't fucking shoot. Gemma swiftly opened the kitchen drawer, pulled out a large kitchen knife, and stabbed Mia in the stomach, her blood pooling onto the floor. "Please, don't kill me." Gemma grabbed her by the end, helping her up. But Mia punched her in the side of her face. Mia lurched to the door, opening it, running down the complex's indoor halls, the rugs stained and the walls a dingy white. She pushed open the door to the staircase to take her down to the next level. But when Mia Skulkevich opened the door, she was right back at her spawn point, apartment 201. But it was different. It was how it was before. Sullivan sat on the kitchen counter right next to where Mia and Gemma just had their brawl. Lou sat on the couch, wearing a fluffy hoodie, joggers, and drinking a Corona Light while watching a football game.
Lou, baby, I missed you so much.
Lou gave her the cold shoulder, though. He turned his clean-cut and round face down the hall, slouching back to look toward the bathroom. "You good in there?" he shouted. Mia got up from him, her body shriveling and her gut clenching back to the feeling that had lingered for so long. She walked to the bathroom and crept open the door, only to find her naked and almost lifeless body looking at her in the bathtub, the shampoo from her hair barely rinsed, her mouth jarred open, her arm strung over the side of the bathtub, a mess of blood coming from her head and trickling down her arm, and a pair of periwinkle blue eyes that locked gazes with her own. The thing that became most peculiar to her was Sullivan approached her dead body. He purred, because the clinging to life Mia, oh so barely, scratched his head.
I am so happy to have a friend in here, Mia.